Hello and welcome back to another video. So I thought I'd continue this mini NIMBY rail series thing that we're doing. We've just jumped on a train from London Victoria heading down south. So I have actually added quite a bit since the last time you saw a video about this. And I've basically been putting in the suburban rail network south of the river, since that's where most of it tends to be. I do really like how this bit around Clapham Junction has come out actually. It's as accurate as I can get it right now. Apart from this little bit you're seeing here, I still have to figure out how to do these, what's it called? Like intersections? The junctions? But yes, in this episode we are actually heading out of the capital down towards the coast, covering the Brighton Mainline. So it is quite a significant route. And basically we're going to be putting in first the stations, then the tracks, then we're going to do the renaming, and maybe we'll see about doing the timetabling, because there's a variety of fast and slow trains. Anyway, as always, let's do a bit of time lapse, and hopefully I can fill you in with the gaps. So I am just putting in the stations, so I'm not too familiar with this area of London. Don't really travel on the Brighton Mainline too often. I mean, it is one of the busiest routes, I think, especially for Londoners heading to the beach. I don't know why Brighton, out of all places, is the destination everyone goes to. I mean, it's a pebble beach. I don't see the appeal, personally anyway. But each their own. It's got a very good pier with an arcade, and it is a good night out, actually. Yeah, it's a nice little town. I do have a couple of friends that actually went to uni there, so good nights out. Anyway, I am placing the stations that I remember along the route. I did actually have to check a couple of these out because obviously I'm not a frequent traveller, and even when I do, I take the fast trains, so I know there's a lot of intermediate stations that kind of fit in. And I'm just kind of estimating the number of tracks, because at first I thought it was double tracked all the way down from Croydon down towards Brighton, but it turns out that's not even the case. So I think this section where I'm going now to Hawley, Redhill, and the stop after, which is Gatwick Airport, is double tracked all the way from Croydon down to, well, Gatwick Airport. And I think this is because of the Gatwick Express trains. So let me take a step back. For those of you that don't know, the Brighton Mainline essentially connects Brighton down on the coast all the way up to East Croydon, where it splits in two, with one section heading to London Victoria and the other heading down to London Bridge. So basically all the trains kind of head down this way, they merge at Croydon, and then they all head down towards Brighton, with a lot of them terminating at Gatwick Airport if they're a Gatwick Express service. And this basically stops absolutely nowhere, start to finish. Again, if you ever are travelling from Gatwick, just get the normal train. It's like, what, a couple minutes longer, but it saves you like 15 quid or something like that. Anyway, so I'm just heading down to the southern section, and this is where it's single tracked from memory, and I'm just trying to pick out Preston Park. So this is Brighton's football stadium, and of course the terminus, which is Brighton. And you can see this is the biggest struggle so far, I think, with the curved platforms, because Brighton, I think, is one of the stations where it's, it's 45 degree at one end and then straight at the other. So I'm just adding in the tracks now. You can see there's a little error here which I fixed a bit later on in the video, but generally it is double tracked all the way from, as I said, East Croydon down towards Gatwick. So whilst this is happening, let me explain what's actually happening to the channel and all this bits. So some of you might notice I've been a little bit quiet the last couple months, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten about all these videos, but I've had quite a lot on. So I am in the process of changing jobs, more so moving. What else is there? I'm halfway through a qualification as well I'm trying to do. So doing all this plus YouTube plus my full-time job, it is quite full on. So sorry I haven't been able to get as much stuff out for you, but in the pipeline there is the West Midlands Railway, or West Midlands Metro shall I say, actually. hopefully that'll be coming out on Thursday this week. I just need to finish editing it. There's also the NIMBY Rail series, which is sort of happening on and off. But we are making progress, so again, leave any of your suggestions down below. And thank you to each and every one of you who spends time to watch these videos, comment, and even directly message me. It means a huge amount, and generally I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you. So yeah, we're going back down towards Brighton, working our way up. So the train basically follows, it's quite obvious when you look at this. There's a little section of tunnel, it follows the road, and then I think it cuts underneath this intersection before heading up along existing roadways essentially. And then from here it's basically a straight run all the way to Balcombe, I think. I don't even know what station that is. Burgess Hill, you can see right at the top. I did the renaming a little bit later. But yeah, so this section turns out it's a single tracked all the way up towards, I think just before Gatwick. So I think Three Bridges is where it becomes, or Haywards Heath, somewhere up that way. So there are fast and slow trains running on this. So this is why I want to understand how the timetabling works, because I think it'll be quite cool to have, you know, it timed perfectly that the fast trains just overtake the slow trains before they merge into one. But that's the end goal anyway. I'm not sure if any of you guys actually play NIMBY Rails, so you know, please leave your comments down below if there's any insight into that for me, because that'll be useful. So I think we should probably speak about who actually runs on these tracks. So it's all done by Govia Thames Railway, GTR. I can't remember the full name of it anyway. But there's basically 3 operators, all run by the same company, and that's Southern, Thameslink, and Gatwick Express. Actually, while we're on that topic, you can see this little section here where the tracks don't exactly follow each other. You know, down towards that hill where the M25 is. And this is where I realised that there's actually some... And this is where I realised there's actually some funny business happening just after Gatwick from memory. Hopefully I can put this station in relatively quickly, and then I can actually show you where it goes round. Because basically the fast line was added in later on. I don't know the exact year. Hopefully I'll pop it up on the screen now. There are some spurs that kind of head off from the Brighton Mainline, particularly, you know, heading to East Grinstead, I think it is. And then of course there's a section out towards Banstead Way. There's the Sutton Loop as well from East Croydon. So there's quite a few spurs that come off this main line. And this is where the tracks double up from memory. So we're just skipping past Salford very quickly. Again, this is the fast line I'm putting in, so it basically doesn't stop at any of these stops, and most of the trains would use this, apart from the stopping services, obviously. And this is the section where I realised things actually changed a little bit, because you can see this section here is the fast line that comes in, but it doesn't actually follow it all the way down. It actually curves off on the other side of this green bit here, and it kind of heads off down a bit to the east before curving round, well, what station is that? I think Redhill, and then it basically joins the fast line again there. And also the fast line basically crosses over the slow line just after the tunnel with the M25, so there's a lot of funny business here where I'm trying to shift the track over, but then it's crossing roads and all this. And yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting, because I never realised that until you look at the map, isn't it? But yeah, so we're going past Corsden South, that station's there, so again, you can see this line was put in far later. This should be Corsden Town, I think, the spur that's just coming off there. And basically, yeah, I'm just shifting all these lines, and basically this fast line should connect straight into East Croydon. And the way I've set it up is that they'll follow the left line here for splitting up on the right, and then the fast trains can sort of run straight from London Bridge and what's the other one? Victoria, without interfering with the slow lines. I know it's not how it's done in reality because, you know, they have up tracks and down tracks, but there's no one-way thing on this at the moment. I also completely forgot to put Brighton Station in, so I'm just doing that bit now. Again, this will be altered like a little bit later when I do the sort of coastal railway routes, if I ever get to do them, that is. So yeah, whilst we're just renaming the stations, let me go back to explaining who's actually running on these tracks. So we have Southern, who basically run the Victoria to Brighton route. It's pretty standard, and I think they also do a fair few of the slow stopping services. Then you have Thameslink, which is, you've got those new 12 car trains. I know one of you is definitely going to comment what class it is. But anyway, so they run again from Brighton through East Croydon where it splits, and then they head up towards London Bridge. So I haven't actually put this section in within this video, but it will be done. So I'm not putting the trains in just yet. And the last one is Gatwick Express. So again, they're all owned by the same company, GTR, and that service runs from Victoria to Gatwick. And I think there are a few services which continue from Gatwick to Brighton, and potentially stop at Red Hill as well. Obviously, it's a bit hard to find timetables online now due to, you know, COVID. But yeah, and this is the final section I'm putting in because I've done half of it already, and it's basically for the Southern and the Gatwick Express trains, and it's basically just connecting East Croydon with Clapham Junction, which I've already hooked up. You know, the train we were riding earlier on? There was a link between the two, okay? So this bit's pretty straightforward. It goes through Norbury, I think Thornton Heath, before connecting up with Streatham Common. Anyway, it's a Streatham station, and then it'll head through Balham and Clapham Junction, and then, yeah, of London Victoria is its final stop. So I will maybe have a look about putting in the Southern trains at some point. I'll have a little play around with the timetabling because that's probably the biggest issue I have right now. Basically, a lot of the trains are kind of just set to run, I think, 5 minutes apart, so their initial start time I've shifted each 5 minutes. That's how I've done the South West Railway for now. But yeah, that's the Brighton Mainline, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.